Hey, how you doing, guys? I am back. Sorry for the little delay here. What's going on with GameStop? What's going on? I take off for a couple hours, and the stock goes down while I'm not looking. I mean, they didn't ask me. No one's asking me for permission of where it can trade. What's happening here? We're at 144.32, and on the day that, of course, makes it a drop here of $16.77, which means it's more than 10%. That means it's on the short sale restricted list today and tomorrow. That's kind of a good thing. Volume 3.8 million. No volume here. Is it? Yeah, 3.88 million. No volume of any significance. Low on the day on GameStop 143.44. So it's $1.10 above the low. Kind of does that all the time and sort of hits a low and then bounces back immediately a little bit. But no sustained rally here. Just after about 10:30 this morning, we kind of hit a low at that point of 150-ish, and then it bounced back to about maybe 152, 153 barely. Hung around for about an hour and 10, 15 minutes at that 150, 52 range, and then it just gave up some ground, and it's gone from 150, 150 range now down to this 144, 143 neighborhood. That's what we got. I have no news. I'm just kind of guessing that there are tired hands holding on to the stock, perhaps people looking for some more action elsewhere. People are hoping it would double. Again, this is what short sellers look for. Short sellers feast on this stuff. They find the heavily talked about stock, and then when it gets into a bit of a slide, they just kind of pile in and just keep the pressure on. They just keep bringing more stock and try to drive the morale down of all the shareholders. And that's probably what's going on. 144.69 at the moment, but the stock can do a $5, $10 rally at any moment in time. What we need is an indication from the company about updates about the CEO work and anything else. And at the moment, it's a quiet Monday for the stock. Now, to be fair, the environment that this stock is surrounded in is not so hot today. I mean, it's true the Dow is up, but the Dow was up, I believe, at 1.300 points today. It's now only up 82, so the Dow has really lost ground. S&P down 30 points, it's lost ground, and NASDAQ has been down all day, down 300 points. So there's no recovery coming in the big market, and so that's maybe wearing on investors. So what I'm going to do is going to take my clothes off to kind of liven up the show and get the stocks going. So just pardon me while I get undressed here on the air. You can send your donations in all you want. I prefer PayPal. That's okay. Thank you. Anyway, there you go. Here comes the clothes. Here goes the glasses. Here's the hair. I mean, you're getting it all. It's awesome stuff. The only thing you're not getting is stripper music. Sorry, that's copyrighted. Can't use that. There's my sweatshirt. I love that sweatshirt. I really love that sweatshirt. And of course, this T-shirt. Fantastic, soft, really soft inside that sweatshirt. It just makes you feel all nice and cozy. So on a chilly morning, man, it's fantastic to wear it. But we're warming up in the house right now. There's a lot of light streaming in from the outside, even though our curtains are closed, because it's a relatively sunny day out there. And, the stock went up while I took my clothes off, like I said it should. And you're welcome. I mean, I'm doing all I can. Well, let's get it up to 150. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not taking off any more clothes. Sorry. You're going to have to go with this rush. That's all you're going to get. And calm down, people. Just, hold yourselves together. It'll all be okay. We're gonna be fine. All right, there you have it. Thank you all for being here, and whoop whoop, take it off. Take it all off, Bruce. Go. Oh man, welcome all to this 2-hour show. 1 hour before the close for the day. And 1 hour in the aftermarket. Let's see what's going on. Over on IPOE, the stock, after I got off the air, had a little run. It went from like 1709 all the way up to 1755, I think it was. Would have been about 15 minutes after I got off the air. I thought, this is great. When I come back on this afternoon, oh man, am I going to be a hero? And it backed off into that 1705 range, and it popped up again. It got up to like 1734, but then backed all the way off. And it actually was right down to the even line, 1651. It's now 1678. It's mounting a miniature little rally, nothing much to speak of, but it's trying. GameStop 145.08 now. We're over 145. not jumping up and down, but it's a little better. But the volume on IPOE now, 4.56 million. So just about 4.6 million shares. Um, and I still believe that a lot of the market does not know what this means, what's happening, and what the ramifications are. Um, and again, I am kind of leaning towards the fact that a lot of investment entities are not going to buy this stock right now. And when I'm talking about companies like pension funds, mutual funds, ETFs, and others, they're not going to buy into this stock right now until the deal is officially done. That Social Capital Head Sophia Holdings number 5 is merged officially with SoFi. The company is called SoFi. The stock symbol is SoFi. Once that is done, then I think a whole portion of the market will start looking at buying into the stock. You have to know, folks, that in the world of finance, anyone that's anybody that follows stocks for a living, they know about this company. They know about IPOE and they know about SoFi. They definitely know about SoFi. And the SoFi story is picking up some steam right now. It is the talk of trading desks here and there. But over in hedge fund land and in ETF land and index fund land, this stock is not on the radar officially because there are probably in-house rules, I guess is the way to say it, in-house rules in existence that say that, that certain funds cannot invest in companies like SPACs until their deals are done. And even then they have to pass the due diligence test. The due diligence test could be the company has to be profitable, or the company has to have a certain market cap, or the enterprise value must be of a certain amount of money. I think in the case of SoFi, it'll pass most smell tests, mainly because it's an $8.5 billion market cap deal upon listing, and the company is receiving 1.9 billion cash, of which a billion is from the street, from pension funds and hedge funds and other institutional investors. They're buying into this company at $10 a share on that initial merger. So with that done, that will allow other funds to come in. Now, you got to wonder, well, why would funds want to buy this stock on the open market when they know that a whole bunch of Wall Street institutional backed kind of companies are buying into this stock at $10 a share? They're putting in 1.9 billion at $10. Why should anyone want to buy this stock at 15 or 18 or 20 or 25 or higher, or 40, 50, whatever price? The answer is because the combined book value of SoFi and IPOE upon merger is estimated now to be between 20 and $27 a share. I think it's more to 27, and I have a fifth suspicion, I have a feeling that with the bank charter in its back pocket, that bank that SoFi is buying in California that gives them a banking charter, with that in the mix, I think we're on the much higher end of the scale, if not over the high end of the scale. So people are going to go, wow, I wish I was one of these $10 hedge funds, but you would have had to have had at least 10 to 20 million to get into that deal, maybe 50 million minimum to get into that group of investors. And keep in mind one other thing. It's true, they got in at $10, but they can't get out. They can't just sell it to you and I the day that the company is trading on the New York Stock Exchange. They're forbidden to trade the stock. They're restricted because that's part of the deal. They got the stock at $10 to sign at least a 6 month to 1 year restriction. And that might be imposed on them by the SEC rules. I don't quite know this, but it's quite possible that under SEC and exchange and other arrangements, that there are caveats in place where the insiders, which these entities will be classified as, a control group, that type of thing, they will not be allowed to sell the stock for quite some time, which again means the only shareholders that are free to do what they want with IPOE are retail investors like yourselves who are buying and selling the stock now, buying options now, which I encourage you to do. While it's still down here in the 16s, get your call options immediately. Don't be pussyfooting around for a nickel a contract either. Just get them. Just buy them. You're free trading. You're free to trade all you want, in and out, flip it, all you want to do, take whatever profit you want, when you want, however you want, doesn't matter. Everybody else on the inside who gets the the best of the deals, they're restricted. They have to hold their shares for quite some time. And that gives you all the time in the world to decide in the first, say, 90 days of listing, what's comfortable for you. Are you happy with where the shares have, where they're at, where they're going, what the company is saying? You can decide. Keep in mind another thing. Most of the investors at $10 a share, they're not interested in selling at 20. They're not doing this for a quick $10 flip. They're in for it at 10. They're looking for a 2-year to 5-year window. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me that some of these investors, pension funds and hedge funds and mutual funds, they're buying this stock for 5 years or a corporate takeover, whichever comes first, because they're thinking, might be, like I am speculating here, because it's just my opinion that I'm giving you. This is not financial advice. It's just me giving my personal opinion. It could well be that they're thinking, you know what, these guys are going to have 3 million customers by the end of this year, from 800,000 2 years ago to 3 million. And in the next 2 years, they're going to be at 6, 7, 8 million customers. That is too large of an entity for a large bank to avoid not buying up. And it could well be that a Walmart, an Amazon, Bank of America maybe might just buy these guys, make them an offer they can't refuse. And in the case of Amazon, I can see it happening where they'll come and knock. It could even be Google. It could be Google. Could it be Apple? It could be Apple, where they come along and say, "Hey, hey, way to go! You know, doing great. We love what you do. We're fans. We would like to. We think we, as a merged part of our ecosystem, I think we could do really well together." Can you imagine the power of Google and the entrepreneurship of the SoFi people merging together, or Amazon and its hundreds of millions of customers around the world, billions of customers around the world, making this the official Amazon fintech bank? Think about that. I mean, it would just be, whoa. So instead of Amazon starting something from scratch and going 10 years to get somewhere, this thing is up and running with 3 million members by the end of this year already. I can see it. I can just sense this. I can sense large companies going, "We'll make these guys an offer. We'll just pick them up, and we'll do a deal here to grab these guys while we can, and we'll do a paper deal. They're new stockholders in this new company. We'll offer them our stock. We'll do a swap. How about some kind of a stock deal?" Scott Coleman, thank you, Scott, for your PayPal donation. It just came through here. I just heard a little ting. That was you, and thank you. Taking a hit today. Happy to buy the dip. Love you both. Have a great week. Thank you, Scott. Even on a down day, Scott sends me a donation. Thank you, Scott, so much. Jen and I really appreciate it. It could be that, Google is what, 2,000 a share, something like that's where they are right now. If the deal were made today and Google was $2,000 a share, I could see 5 for 1. Give us 5 of your SoFi shares. We'll give you a Google share. That's a $400 deal, or a 4 for 1. It's a $500 deal. Would take your SoFi to $500 a share. How many you got? Do your math. Are you rich yet? That might be your ticket. How many shares have you got under contract with your options? Are you able to buy enough contracts in these call contracts, like I'm telling you to, for at least 6 months out, maybe a year out? Can you get enough options where you have the ability to get 1,000 shares and be taken out at $500 a share? That's a $500,000 payday for you. Can you get 10,000 shares? You're worth $5 million. I mean, the leverage is phenomenal. And you as a shareholder, you have 1,000 shares, and you're coming out at 500. You're coming out at $500,000. Please don't forget me when that happens. Okay, just remember who helped you out with it. Anyway, there you go. That's a possibility. I'm not saying it's gonna, but I'm kind of thinking, wouldn't put it past them. Because when you have a fast, high-growing fintech online banking company like this, with its own brokerage division, lending division, student loans, car loans, home loans, you name it, they're going to be in everything. They're going to be in everything available. Credit cards, debit cards, they're doing that. Crypto investing, I'm sure they'll be in everything that the 18 to 50-year-old will want to be involved with on their phone. Don't put it past that this IPOE could really go crazy. It's not known yet. It is not Internationally known? No, it's barely nationally known. It's known in states. SoFi is known in California. I think it's known in New York. It's becoming more known as each day goes by, but it is still a story to be really discovered. And I'm waiting for the day where some senior analysts at Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and other analysts start to cover this thing as a merged company. They're not going to talk about it now. They're not going to recommend it now. I don't think so. They're going to wait till the merger is completed because that's when they'll get involved. But could it be that Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and Bank of America and other entities get pooled up to raise $5 billion on a bond offering for these guys, where they might do a series of, say, 1, 3, and 5 year notes, or 3, 5, and 7 year notes, and they're going to raise 30, 40, 50 billion dollars in the next 2 years through a series of notes that these brokerage firms are with, or they get right out of the starting gates in the first 6 months of combined listing. They just start to raise cash, build their profile, grow their clientele to 5 million, to 7 million, to 8 million. All these firms are going to write reports on them. It's research reports. They're going to come out with their targeted stock prices, and then out of left field, here comes a buyer, and it might be a bidding war. What if it's a bidding war between Google, Apple, and Amazon, or Walmart? Like 4 of them, all of them want it. All 4 want these guys. Watch out. Hang on for the ride. So anyway, there you go. So 1668 on IPOE. I'm just telling you what the potential could be on this thing. It's up 17 cents. It's just IPOE right now. It's going to be SoFi soon, and you're just going to have to stick around and just wait to see what happens. I think it's going to be a very entertaining show. I really do. I kind of like the movie that's coming up. I think we're going to enjoy what's going to happen here. So hang on, stick around for the ride, and let's see what gives. Now on GameStop, I would really like to hear some news from the company. Would be kind of nice. Michael Bruce, possibly dumb question here, but has there been an instance where shorts didn't cover? Is that even possible? Well, the shorts don't cover when a company goes out of business. That's definitely happened. I know that happened with a number of public companies over the years. But shorts, in theory, if a stock is very benign, short positions can be carried for a long time. It's really one of those things where if you're paying interest to your broker for the short position you're carrying, and it's manageable, you'll pay the price. You might have a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year patience rating. On the other hand, there might be turnover of shorting going on. It could well be that today there's 3 million shares traded, and 2 million of the 3 million shares traded were buyers, were shorters covering, and 2 million of the 3.7 million selling was shorters taking on new positions. You got a turnover, and maybe the guys buying it at 145 and 146 and 148 and 150 all day long here, they shorted it at 165, 170 last week. 2 weeks ago. They could have done that, and they're now buying it all back. And they made $20 a share, and they're happy. They were in it for a week or two. That's all. And now we have shorters taking on new short positions in this 145, 150 range, 155 range, hoping it'll go to 120, and they'll try to score 15, 20, $30. This is normal. This is completely normal. But we didn't have 150 million shares turnover, did we? No, we haven't. How many shares have traded in the last 2 weeks combined? I mean, every day, what do we had? 3 million a day, 2 million a day, 4 million a day, 5 million shares a day. There's only 5 trading days in a week. So what's there been? 20, 25 million shares trade all week last week? Was that about the same number the week before that? I mean, we haven't done 100 million shares of turnover in a month, have we? Even a month and a half? I don't think so. It's been a long time since we've had a 25, 35, 50 million share day. We haven't had that in a long time. So I don't see everyone getting out. Nope. I see the position still there, and it is a serious short position, and it is a problem short position. But it's not a problem if the stock wants to stay in this 140 range and slump into the 130 range this week. It's a less of a problem than it was last week. It's more of a problem if the stock goes to 150, 160, 170, 180 because of rumblings of who the CEO could be. Yeah, it's a problem also in the long run as small retail investors keep nibbling up these shares as they come down. As this stock keeps trickling in here, it's now 144.03. which is still about 60 cents higher than the low of the day. If this buying that's happening here at 144.03, 144.02, 144.01, 144, this buying is all retail investor buying, and these folks are paying cash, and they're not leveraging on margin, and they're just putting it away in their account going, I'm not selling it now. I got some more at 144. I'm a happy guy. Thank you. I'll take this off your hands, and it's not available. This could be a problem later, a big problem later, because there may not be any stock available until you reach like in any big way, until you get to like 300 a share, 400 a share. Maybe then you'll start to run into some retail selling, because some retail investors will take some profit. But at the moment, it's not a problem. I mean, they've got the money to cover it, and it's a smaller problem today than yesterday on Friday, than Friday before and Friday before. So at the moment, the shorters are happier, but they're not delirious, because this stock isn't going to $50 a share. It's just not falling off the face of the earth. And now it's on a short sale restriction. You can't just hammer this thing. So that's another issue that, all day tomorrow will be in effect, which means if the company tonight after the close or tomorrow morning before the bell, they announce tomorrow morning before the bell a new CEO, and the street likes who that is, without a short sale restriction going on, with the short sale restriction in place all day tomorrow, this could be up $50 tomorrow. It could be $195 tomorrow afternoon. So you've seen this happen before. Just look at the charts and you'll see what this stock is capable of on a minute-to-minute basis. But at this second in time, right now, right at this minute, 143.99 on 4 million shares. That's what we got right now, and that's what we have to accept as the price at the stock of GameStop at this moment in time. We have to tolerate that price. That's it. We can't not look past that. That's all we can do. So anyway, let's see what's going to happen. I don't know. Payless Shoes, bankrupt. Company making money, shorted to death. Absolutely. What can I say? Thank you everybody for being here. It's nice to have you around. We're going to watch this market until the close. The Dow up only 86 points, and the S&P is down 29.9. NASDAQ down 308, down 308 on NASDAQ, 2.2% drop. The FANG stocks are getting hit today. I heard something about Citibank downgrading FANG stocks because the analyst who was quoting this was saying that the growth rate might slow for the FANG stocks. And I'm going, no kidding, Sherlock. Like, really? No way. Really? Apple had a 45% gain in profits last quarter, and you think that the next quarter might not be as good? Wow. Like, you are being paid the big bucks. Way to go, buddy. That is real research right there. That's a good guess. I like this guy's guess. Because, if the economy opens up, people won't be at home as much, and they might not order as much online as before. They might travel a little bit, take a couple of weeks off to just get away for, you think? Really? Do you think that Amazon might have a slower second half to this year because of the fact that people can go shopping at a shopping mall or a Target or their mom and pop shops? Gee, wow, that's novel. Like that's groundbreaking. Anyway, the market is falling for this guy. The market is getting sucked in to this narrative that, there's a slowdown coming in. We should sell some of these shares. Really? You really think so, huh? Well, okay. Do you think they're overpriced? I don't know about that. These earnings numbers we've had the last 2 weeks have allowed stocks to kind of grow into their share price. But hey, people can buy and sell all they want. I mean, let's be fair. The FANG stocks are way up over the last 2 years, 3 years. They've done really well. So people are entitled to take a profit. I guess so. If you feel that this is it for Apple, this is it for Microsoft, the best days are behind it, well, good luck. I think there are takers to take your stock off your hands. No problem. Funny thing, Home Depot is still up 286 and IBM up $1.31. They haven't backed off today. It's Microsoft down 444 and it's Apple down 303. Apple is at 127 now on the stock. I just got a big grin on my face. I just find this so funny. The shares for the full year, high in number, 145. They're now $18 below the high of the year. And it's trading at 28.5 times earnings. Yeah, you could say that's still rich on a PE multiple, but you know what? This next quarter coming up for Apple will beat last year's quarter by a good 15, 20%. Might not be 45%, but it's going to beat it, which means the PE multiple will be lower for the trailing 4 quarters. They could well be at 23, 24 within about 2 and 3/4 months from now when we get the next quarterly results, which would tell me that Apple now could then run from wherever, like 127, it now could have a target of 165, 170 in like the next 6 months. So the lower the Apple goes now, the more money you're going to make later this year and next year, because it will hit new all-time highs. But it will have its days. It will have its moments. Now, Microsoft at 248, the 52-week high, 263. So it's off only $15 from its all-time high. It's hardly a sell-off to worry about, I guess. But it is down 436 today. It's trading at 33 times earnings. And I will again grant you that the PE multiple is higher than the past years. But I'm going to tell you that with cloud computing and all of Microsoft's activities and profits, they're going to have a blockbuster quarter coming up here, and then the next one will be another good one. And so those PE multiples will be coming down because the earnings per share are rising dramatically. So even if the stock sits at 248, it could be that the new target prices for Microsoft going forward 1 year, personally, 300 to 350 a share is doable for the company. But hey, maybe it has to go to 240 before it goes to 300. Maybe it has to do that. Okay, if that's what the street wants to do, I don't know. But, everyone has their, targets. Amazon down $90 a share. And to be fair, Amazon always trades at a high multiple. I've talked about this ad nauseum. The stock was trading at 90 times earnings 2-3 months ago. Now it's trading at 61 times earnings, and it's down $89.99 a share today. I think they should split their stock. If Amazon wants to have new highs on their stock, they should split it 10 for 1. But they didn't do that. I don't know why they don't want to do their split. I don't understand why the board of directors wants to keep the stock at 3,200, but you're now going to have to tolerate $100 a day swings on your stock, which can be upwards of 2-3% in price swings. Okay, what you get what you pay for, you get what you want. Okay, fair enough. Leave it be, leave it be. Over on the Google front, here we go. Alphabet down $52 a share to $23.46. That's where it is right now, trading at 31 times earnings. It will have another block out quarter next quarter, which we're into right now. And then the next quarter of that will be another record setter. Their PE multiple will sink into the 25, 26 range, which could be too low. So then you get the opposite where the stock could go up. They too could use a stock split. They're $2,300 a share. They've only traded 963,000 shares. If they were to split 10 for 1, they'd have 9.6 million shares trading. I think if they split 10 for 1, it would go from $23.40 to $400 a share, which would be $4,000 a share. But that's just me, the old man sitting in a little house in Creston, British Columbia, giving you his opinion on what's going on from Canada. What can I tell you? I just saying that they do what they do the way they do it, and they go through thick and thin, and it's all good. It's all good. Whatever you want. Netflix down $15 to $4.87. I've told you to stay away from Netflix. It will not hit new highs for quite some time. It could be a couple of years, because they have unfortunately trading still 59 times earnings, and they've decided to buy back stock to engineer their number, and that's that's a sign right there that if you're not willing to put your $5 billion into your business, I don't want to be part of your business. It's just kind of, as a shareholder, I'm saying. I mean, Netflix wants to call me on this documentary. Whatever. I don't know what's happening with that. I'm not sure if that's still on or not. I'm not sure what's going on. We'll see. In the meantime, DoorDash is down $4.79. Airbnb down another $5. Oh my gosh. Intel down $1.60 at $56.07. That is a bargain of bargains. But some people are just willing to let stocks go lower before they buy them. I don't have a problem with the stock dropping. It was as low as $43.61, and that is the deal of deals. I don't know if it'll get that low. It's 56 right now, and I don't know if it'll drop that much. It's trading at 12.5 times earnings, and I'm not sure if it'll drop much more. That's pretty cheap paper. But time will tell. Coinbase $293 up $29 today. It's getting a crypto coin bump today. Maybe it oversold for a while, but I still wouldn't buy Coinbase. It doesn't make money at this price. They don't make money. They're a $54 billion cap market. They don't own coins. They're just an exchange. I don't know why people are excited about this stock. I really don't get it. I'm kind of like, I'm kind of like Colin Che and his sidekick at SNL, Colin Jost, Che and Jost, Michael Che and Colin Jost, asking Elon Musk, "What is it?" Well, it's an electronic currency that trades. Yeah, well, what is it? And I'm looking at Coinbase, going, "What is it? What have you got? Have you got a building? Do you own land? Do you have gold? Do you have money in the bank? You've got money in the bank because you went public. But are you worth 53 or whatever billion? Are you worth $54 billion? What's your book value? Is your book value 8 billion? Like what are you? I don't know. I'm so old school. I'm just, sorry. For you young viewers out there, I know you must be frustrated. This old guy going, ah, ah, ah. So what can I say? But anyway, it's up today. It's up $30. It's up today on a lousy day. It's up $30. So way to go, Coinbase. I hope people are making money on it. I just can't recommend anyone to get into it. AMC is at 976, up a quarter. GameStop now 143.86. The low has been 143.44. So we're at the low range right now on GameStop on a volume of 4.1 million shares. And what can I tell you? It's a bargain. It's a deal. I like what they're doing. I love it. I will always love it. And I think they're going to go a lot higher. But you have to tolerate a day like today to kind of get through it. We're just approaching 144 perhaps right now. On IPOE, 1667, up 16 cents today. And the high was 1755. Volume of 4.6 million. I had a feeling it could have reached 10 million volume today, but there wasn't that secondary follow through behind the first few hours of opening. And so there's people kind of wondering, oh, is this real or not real? What do we do? Those of you who haven't got in, you've got time at the moment. And those of you getting options, you want to scoop options down the road past like the end of the year beyond if you can. Definitely, and leverage up there and enjoy a ride. 144.35. GameStop just popped through 144 like butter. But is it a recovery? We have 26 minutes to go in the day, and will there be any kind of a late day $3-4 rally on GameStop or more? It's possible, but it's 144.44 right now, and it's got a long way to go if it's going to have any kind of recovery. It's down 1667. Maybe today's a good day for a bit of a washout, get some of the loose stock out of the way, but I still believe that on the opening half an hour, 40 minutes, it was a direct attack on the stock that caused it to drop to start the day, and then it kind of meandered along and then just kind of deteriorated after that, mainly because the company isn't talking at the moment. They just don't have anything they have to say today. Nothing wrong with the company not having to say anything. Why talk if you have nothing to talk about? But we are awaiting a pretty significant hire in the form of a new CEO. And we are now 29 days away from the annual meeting, June the 9th, and this is May the 10th. So we're less than a month from the annual meeting, and that should open up the floodgates to a whole bunch of news, and we'll follow that. So there you are, guys. Welcome one, welcome all. Sorry I'm not giving you any more news to get you jumping up and down, but what can I say? Rolling the dice. Mr. Boston says, rolling the dice on 10 IPOE, May 21, 1750 calls. My break even is 1805. Do I have a chance? You have a wonderful chance. I think you're gonna make a ton of money on these. $30 a share. Those calls will be worth $1,250 each. So yeah, I like your chances. You're gonna have 12,500 in call contracts plus time premium because you have until next May. It won't take until next May for the stock to do that. I don't think so. This is my opinion. I think these shares are gonna do really, really well. They're an easy double in my opinion. $32 to $35 is very attainable for this stock on the hype that is about to befall it between now and the first week of June and middle of June and so on. Lots of news coming out, lots of hype, lots of promotion. There'll be lots of trading on it, and this thing's going to run. Your contracts, you're going to do really, really well. And anyone else in those kinds of contracts, way to go. You can buy 1750s, you can buy 18s, you can buy 19s, you can buy 20s. If you can buy 20 20s or buy 25 21s, or you can get more that are a little bit higher. You can get into 20 contracts, 30 contracts, 50 contracts. 50 contracts gives you 5,000 shares of leverage on this stock. And if you end up scoring a $10 a share premium or value on your call times 50, you got yourself a nice $50,000 bill staring at you for not a lot of money today. Could be your own nice little Tesla. So I'm just saying, I'm thinking these are the ones. You want to get these calls ASAP. What I don't know today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, will these shares be 20 bucks at the end of the week already? Will they be 25 by the end of the week? Into next week, will they be 24 to 26 by next week? Don't know. It's possible. It is very possible, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But it is possible, because if there's more buying coming in on the IPOE as each day goes by now, as we get closer to that shareholder vote and the approval date and everything else, this thing it's gone. It will go, and it will not be down here. Nope. Anyway, there you have it. Unfortunately, 143.51 on GameStop. It has backed off again under 144. It is now towards the low, 143.50. It is just at the low right now. A little dip here. 4.2 million traded, no volume. A lot of people are going, is this a low? Should I be lower than this? Is this the low? This is where we're at right now, 143.76. But I get the impression on GameStop, if it were to pop $5, it'll pop another 5 right after that, because people will go, oh, that was the low, I'm getting in. A lot of folks are kind of looking for that, but we've had a couple of false alarm lows, and so the stock backs off, and some people go, I'm not sure if this is it. Is it going to go lower? What should I do? But anyway, 143.50, right at the low range right now. 143.49 is where we're at on GameStop. AMC 982 having a little run at the end of the day, going higher, which is good for AMC shareholders, up 31 cents today on 34 million shares. That's where we're at over there. On other SPAC stocks, Gores Holdings down 34 cents to 11.28. Virgin Group down 3 cents to 9.93. Fifth Wall is unchanged. It was actually up today. It got up to 11.28. So it was up like 38 cents at one point today, but it's given it all back. We're unchanged. Vector Acquisition down 9 cents to 9.90. Navsite Holdings down 1 penny to 9.88. Starboard Value up a penny to 9.98. Fortress down 1 cent to 9.99. Over on Vanek Vectors, I was mentioning this morning when it was down $8, good deal. It got back to about down 4 or 5. Now it's down 10. So it's getting hit with the high-end computer stocks. The tech stocks are getting hit on NASDAQ. Why? I don't know. It's off $10 to $233 a unit. This is the low range, and they were as high as $258 so far this year. So these units are $25 off their high. That's a 10% pullback on an ETF that only holds stock in computer manufacturing companies that cannot keep up with the business. It's so it's bizarre and stupid. Normally, when you have a company that can sell everything they can make, don't have collection problems, they have a waiting list of customers that will buy anything you can make as fast as you can make it. You're talking about a company that trades at its premium price. You're talking about a company that is trading over book value. You have a company trading at a much higher PE multiple because they can sell everything they can make at top dollar, and people will even prepay them. They'll pay them up front for the merchandise. I mean, you're in total control of your customer, and you can tell them how long they have to wait until they get their product. And yet these stocks are down today overall, and the Vector Semiconductor Fund, which is all the chip manufacturers, they're off 10% from the high of the year. Go figure. In a zero inflation economy, so it's not inflation killing these guys. Zero interest rates practically, so interest rates aren't loans. They don't have loan problems. It's not like their banker called up and says, oh, you got to pay 15% interest because you're a risky business. No, they got bankers begging them to please borrow money from me. Countries are backing them up with whatever they need. And the United States Treasury, the United States government, is willing to fund the expansion of chip production in the United States by probably handing out zero interest loans to any of these companies who want to build a plant anywhere in the United States. And you can hire some of the finest workers in the world, known as Americans, to produce this product, which is world class, that everyone will want around the world, all they can get. And the stocks are down today. So you tell me if the market makes sense today. It's a bizarro world today, and that's what we got. Just what we got. But I do recall. I will say I do recall in the past year, there were days where I watched the market go up and up and up, and I'm going, why is it going up? Why are these? Why? There's a pandemic. Why is the market going up all the time? I can't figure it out. But now today, coming out of a pandemic, from what I understand, the market's going down. So people are worried about the potential of the companies to make money in a non-pandemic. Really? It's easier to make money in a non-pandemic than a pandemic. At least that's always been my mantra. If you don't have a worldwide disease killing people, and you can go anywhere you want, and you can do business everywhere you want to do it, that would be better for business. That's my take on it. As opposed to you have to stay at home and you can't even go outside for a walk, and you got to wear a mask wherever you go, and you can't go to your office, and you can't travel anywhere. That's when you don't see the markets generally go up. You'd think, but they did. They did in many cases. In some cases, they didn't. Hey, anyway, it's kind of weird. It's a bizarro world right now. But what can I tell you? By the way, Microvision MVIS is down 27 cents to 13.83. It's not going anywhere. Home Depot up 3.56. IBM up $1.20. They're still in the normal world that I'm familiar with. Microsoft down 4. Apple down 2.80. Tesla down $42. Tesla down $42. There's nothing wrong with the cars. The cars work great. I know they have solar panel issues regarding pricing or something. There's some kind of a class action lawsuit being threatened against the company or something. So I'm not sure what that's all about. But that's not going to be a factor on a stock like this. But it's doing what it's doing. What can I say? Bed Bath & Beyond was up all day until about an hour ago. Finally broke down. It got as high as $25.99 today. And so it was, about 55 cents up on the day, 2%. Now down 8 cents at $25.32. So even Bed Bath & Beyond, the winner, early winner today, has given it all back. Over at BlackBerry, $8.15 a share, down 33 cents. It's been down practically all day here. And over at the cruise lines, they are negative. Royal Caribbean at 84.06, down 23 cents. Nothing serious. Norwegian down 39 cents to 28.09. That's a little more of a 1.5% practically. And then Carnival down looks like about 1.5% lower, down 40 cents to 26.36. So they're giving up some of the ghost at the moment. Winners that I still see on my screen here is a couple of green bars, not many. There's a couple of green bars. I got Target up 27 cents. I got JP Morgan up 76 cents. I've got Walmart up $1.11. I got Goldman Sachs up 48 cents on a $370 stock. eBay is up $1.82 in the e-commerce world. What else? American Airlines up 4 cents. It's still holding on to a slight gain. But across the board after that, it's red. Coinbase up $31, and then AT&T up 51 cents. AT&T at the bottom of the list up 51 cents. Not bad. All right, back to GameStop, 143.38 with 15 minutes to go. We're at the low, 143.26. This is the low of the day, down 17.85. More than a 10% loss today. This is where we're at. We've got IPOE at 16.65, down up 13 cents, still holding a gain, 13-cent gain. In this market, that's remarkable. The Dow was up 103 points, but it's concentrated obviously with just a few stocks. Let me take a quick peek at which Dow companies we're talking about here. Who on the Dow 30 is actually holding on and keeping this market up? Here we go. The Dow 30. We have right now American Express is up. We've got Caterpillar up 1.1%. Chevron is up 8 cents. Goldman Sachs is up 60 cents. Home Depot is definitely a winner, up a percentage point. Honeywell up 1%. International Business Machines. So some tech are doing okay. We got Johnson & Johnson up 1 percentage point. Coca-Cola is up 1 percentage. JP Morgan is up 0.5%. McDonald's is up 1.25%. So the Happy Meals are carrying those guys, I guess. 3M is up 2%. Merck is unchanged. It's up 3 cents. We've got Procter & Gamble up 2.2. Travelers up 0.85%. United Healthcare up 1.3. Verizon is up 1.6. They just sold off. Didn't they just sell off They just sold off AOL and Yahoo, I think, last week for $5 billion. They're up 1.6%. Walgreens is up 1.3%. Walmart is up 0.84%. Those are your winners on the Dow, and that's what's helping keep the Dow up 103 points in the last 13 minutes of the day. But the big sell-off in tech is dragging down the NASDAQ, they say, by 2 percentage points. A 296-point drop might be a little too much, but what are you going to do? I think the markets can go higher. I just believe they're going to go higher, including the FANG stocks. They'll go higher. But anyway, there you go. Just another day in paradise, I guess. You know, we just got to go through these one at a time. I'm just looking at any other headlines to tell you about, but I really don't have anything. The VIX is at 18.48, so it's up 1.79 today, and that's a 10% increase in the VIX. That's the volatility index, which we don't buy or sell. It's just something we watch, and it's up it's up to 18.51, so that's up a bit. So there's a little concern in the markets that there's a little more volatility building in the markets. I don't see it coming from interest rates, folks. I don't see it coming from. Let me just take a gander over here. Where are we? Bonds. Here we go. We got the 10-year at 1.606. I'm not worried about the 10-year. The German Bund, the 10-year bond for Germany, is paying a negative 0.2% interest, as it always pays a negative. Japan is paying nothing, 0.094%. Nothing going on there. The United Kingdom, 0.79%, and France, 0.17. What really kills me about France and the UK and even Germany, their rates are so way lower than the American rates. In the United States, 10 years, 1.6%. And the American government is flooding the market with money, the Fed. And yet, with all the money being lavished on the American economy, the interest rate is 1.6%, where in the United Kingdom it's 0.79, and in France it's 0.17. This is where I've been stumped for a while. Why would these European rates be so much cheaper? Because there's no way that the economy of France is stronger than the economy of the United States. Why should they have lower rates than Americans do? The American economy is busting at the seams right now, I would think. But yet the rates are much, much higher. And I think what it is, and this is kind of kooky, but I have a feeling that the Fed isn't loose enough. They're too tight. And I was actually thinking about something else. Over the weekend, I was talking to someone, one of my viewers, one-on-one, and one of my viewers said to me that they were talking about we're talking about mortgage rates, and this is in the Washington D.C. area. You know who you guys are, and they were telling me about their mortgage rates out there, what they were being offered for mortgage rates, and I was telling them what we were being offered for mortgage rates in Canada. They couldn't believe it how low we were. We're looking at mortgage rates up here. I was just talking to a buddy of mine. He knows some guys who just got some new mortgages at 1.3 to 1.6% for 25 years. 1.3 on a mortgage, 1.6 on a mortgage. Common, not uncommon. Not like everybody gets it, but it's easy to get. That kind of interest rate, 1.3% on your mortgage. What are you paying in the USA? 3%, 2.8, 3.2? It's more than double. It's I'm amazed at how high rates are in America. I can't believe why the American rates so high. I would think the American rates would be lower than Canada's rates, but Canada's rates are really, really low. The government is very accommodating in Canada for its economy, and in Europe, obviously, and of course in Japan, because the rates are just so low. Quite surprising, but you know, it is what it is. We are coming in now to the last 9 minutes of the day. We've got IPOE right now at $16.50 a share, $16.51. So it is officially unchanged on the day in a really lousy closing market. The Dow is now only up 30 points. It's losing gas, losing altitude here at the end of the day. S&P down 34 points, NASDAQ down 312, just about. I'm just rounding it out. And social media, IPOE is literally down 1 penny on the day. It's finally given up some ground. Whereas GameStop, 143.13, which puts the stock 143.08 at the low of the day, 143 right here. The entire market is under pressure today. I'm going to say GameStop is way oversold today. He's gone down way too far. So there's a snapback rally here somewhere. I don't know if it's in the aftermarket tonight, in the pre-market tomorrow, after an hour or two of opening tomorrow, but there's a snapback rally waiting for GameStop. But it is at 143. I will cut you that at 4.4 million shares volume. If it was 44 million shares and it was down this much, I'd be more worried about it. But at 4.4 million, I'm going, no one's playing today. Like, they're just not playing today. IPOE at 1651 unchanged on the day on that stock right now. And AMC 977 holding on, but slipping ever so slightly now in the last 8 minutes. It was up into the 980 range, and it's now 977 on AMC, now 975. So it's giving up some ground, up 24 cents at the moment. There you have it. GameStop 143.14, low of the day, 143 even on the day. It has dropped more than 10% today, so the stock is on the short sale restricted list for today and all day tomorrow on the New York Stock Exchange, which could set up a snap gap rally on the stock tomorrow. We could see that. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, there you go, guys. That's what we have. Where we are right now. I feel like we should have a drinking game right now. That's what someone said. SSR doesn't mean much anymore. But if the premium is high on the calls, you might get more money and chance that the success would be really low. Let's see. Contracts can be done. Market sentiment is 89% buy to 11% sell on GameStop. Nothing makes sense anymore. What can I say? It could be a short seller who's holding it down. Bruce, do MMs pay out the short interest in the event do market makers pay out the short positions? Pay out the short positions in the event of a company bankruptcy? Market makers pay out. If the company gets suspended from trading, the company's bankrupt and the shares get halted and suspended, they're not called back. No more trades need be done. So anyone who's holding a stock is holding stock that's worthless. Anyone that short the stock is gained everything. Whatever they shorted it for is all their money. They don't have to buy them back. They do not have to buy stock back. I've talked to people in the business over the years, way back when, and I've asked the question: well, wouldn't short sellers pretty well try to cover towards the end of a company's life? And I've heard from some market people who will say to me, well, there could be a large short millions of shares that they shorted at, say, $15 a share 2 years ago, and now the company is at a nickel, and then it's trading at 3 cents, and it's trading at 2 cents, and everyone knows it's about to become delisted. It's not uncommon where a shorter will offer to buy back a bunch of stock at a penny to cover up their position, to just close their books, but they don't have to. They don't really have to. But in the old days, there would be a lot of trading of penny stock at the last 1 or 2 or 3 cents a piece, and a lot of the buying would be shorters just mopping up and picking up stock they're short just to kind of close it off. So there's no discussion. There's no hint of a possible comeback for the company and all that kind of stuff. So that can happen. Yeah. Anyway, what happens to a put options if a company goes bankrupt? Well, if you own puts in a stock, let's say you own $20 puts, and the company goes bankrupt while your puts are still current, you can sell your puts right up to the end moment. If they're trading at 5 cents a piece, your puts will be worth $19.95 each. You can get it because the individual who shorted, you can always put the stock to the individual at 20. They're a forced buy, and then you can buy the stock at a nickel on the open market and score your profit. Or you could just sell the contract at $19.95 and score your deal. I just bought 6.8 more shares of GameStop. There's the turnaround right there. John Van bought stock in GameStop. It's going up now. That's it. 143.28. There it is. 143.51. There it is. John stepped in. He's like Roaring Kitty. He just stepped in with 6.8 shares. GameStop's going higher. 4 minutes to go in the day. How high will it go? 143.11 is still up 11 cents. 143.02 still up 2 cents. 143.05 is still up. Maybe this is the move. Maybe it's not, but maybe it's the move. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, John. Let's go. Hey, Uncle Bruce, what happens with market manipulation? Really, would a certain manipulator send a stock down for a day and another up, or even the day to manipulate? Well, if you're long a gazillion puts on a stock like GameStop, you have $160 puts, and you bought them last Friday, on Friday, let's say you've got, I don't know, you got like 5,000 puts. All right. They could be like, contracts that expire this week, next week, the week after. You got a series of them. You got a pile of puts, 5,000 combined for various prices, around the 160 mark, I'm going to say, but out weeks and weeks. And you're long stock. You own, say, okay, you got 5,000 puts. That's 500,000 shares you're short through puts, right? And you're long 50,000 shares of GameStop, right? And you let the market open and you see it's kind of weak, so you offer some stock at bids to get it down a buck or two to kind of start the momentum on the downside. But you only sell like 10,000 shares. You still got 40,000 left. You wait. You see the stock drifting a little bit, comes up a little, drifts a little bit. The bids look a little weak. You feed them another couple of thousand shares to break a couple more bids. You drop the stock another 50 cents, 80 cents. All of a sudden, the stock's down $4. Your puts are up money. And the further the puts drop, the further the stock drops, the more the puts go up. Because, of course, one is the inverse of the other. And you have 43,000 shares left to sell. And, after 10:30 in the morning, 11 in the morning, there's very little action. You keep offering a stock here, offering a stock, some stock here and there, taking out little bids, just to keep the pressure on. And then around 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you start dropping the rest of the 50,000 and drop that market down to $7, $8, $9 lower. Well, your puts now are doing really well. You got 500,000 shares equivalent that are for you. You're up $9 a share. Whereas with these shares you sold off, you might have lost 50 grand on the stock, 500,000 on the stock, but you made 5 million on the puts. You start selling off your puts and cashing in. So do you care? You lost $500,000 on the stock. You made 5 million over here. You don't. You're a happy camper, and so now you're loaded up with a whole bunch of more cash. And as the day wears on here, you could theoretically buy up calls or buy up stock at these levels yourself, or do nothing and just wait it out. Wait for the stock in a couple of days from now to go back to 160.65. Acquire some stock up in that range if you need to, and buy a bunch of puts all over again, and then hit the market again. I mean, that could be the pattern. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying it could be what's been going on. Don't know. We'll see. But with this volume being so light, what are you going to do? It's picked up 50 shares a day, still uneasy. We're going to end up owning GameStop 7 times. We're going to own it all. 143.31. John, you've moved this market. You've kept us going here. You're keeping us in the chips. We are closing right now. 143 last trade I'm showing right now. The bell is going. They're clapping over here. What is the final trade going to be on the stock? Does John end up making money or what? We find out what's going on here. Oh, man. It's awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Here we go. 143. 143.20. John Van, you're up 20 cents if you got him at 143. I don't know what you paid for him, but 143.20 on the aftermarket. 142.73, down 43 cents on the first trade of the aftermarket. That's what we've got right at the moment. On IPOE, last trade, 16.37, down 14 cents. There was a shot of stock that came in for sale at the end. It could have been a short seller trying to make it look awful, even though it had a great day today. We'll see. 16.37 last trade that I'm showing. I'm trying to follow the last of this market. 142.37, 142.66 now on the aftermarket on GameStop. So there you have it. 143.22, 143.20 seems to be where we're at. Thank God the bell just went off. Roller coaster day. That's what we got. Zzz, that's what we got today. We got a zzz. Sometimes the zip goes up and sometimes the zip goes down. 143.20. We're now at 143.08 on the aftermarket. It's coming on again in the aftermarket. Now we're up. 143.22 in the aftermarket. It's up 2 cents. So the stock is jumping about. Oot and a boot, as we like to say in Canada. Right now, that is what the stock is doing on GameStop. Welcome one, welcome all to the aftermarket here in Creston, British Columbia. As we're trying to follow the markets that we're looking at, watching stock jumping around a little bit here, back and forth. We are following IPOE, we're following GameStop, we're following AMC, and we're going to see how everyone does here at the end. Back to another quick peek at IPOE. 1637 last trade, which would make it a drop of 14 cents from 1651 on Friday. The high for the day, 1755, low of 1627. So it actually dropped a little lower. That might have been first thing this morning. I don't remember, but it closed at 1637. The aftermarket 1636 at this exact second in time on IPOE. We have no official announcement today. We just know that May the 27th, the deal is done. So we are now 17 days away from the closing of the merger between IPOE and SoFi. From what I can tell you here from this angle, that's what we have. We have the NASDAQ down over 2% as techs weigh on the market. The Dow ended up losing 33 points. That was part of the reason why we had a last-minute sell-off everywhere. We were down 33 in the Dow. It was up all day. It was up all day until the last 5 minutes when it finally broke the gain for the day and dropped off. Dow Jones at one point today was as high as 35,091 on the index. It closed at 34,742. So that's 260 and 91. That's 350 point drop from the high of the day to where we closed out at. The Dow dropped 350 points from its high to its close, and the close was the low of the day. Down 34.9, pardon me, on the New York Stock Exchange. So there you go. That's the Dow. The S&P down 44 points, low of the day, and NASDAQ down 350 points. I think that's a low of the day. So we had a big sell-off at the end. Might be an interesting opening tomorrow. We may have an initial sell-off and then a rally, or we have an initial rally and then a sell-off and then a rally, or we just have another sell-off. I don't think we will have another sell-off like straight down, but we'll see. That's why we come back. Lewiski, welcome. It's only a flesh wound. That's correct. Thank you, Lewiski, for the donation, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Fantastic. Guys, thank you, everybody, for coming in here and hanging out with me for this market day. And let's hang out for this after hours and see what it's going to do. Here we go. It's going to be a great week for GameStop. Going to buy more in the morning. There you go. It's going to fly off tomorrow. That's what happens. We will find out what's going on. I had 2 bagels today. Bought another 10 shares. I bought 10 more shares today, says Ashley. Bruce, how exactly do people or hedge funds with short positions, how do they cash in? Exercise to get the shares and then sell them in the market for a higher price, or if so, would you buy from them if the company was going under? Hedge funds will make money going long, going short, and they usually like to make their money at the trading desk. They like to close out their positions. It's nice and easy for the accounting purposes, and that's how they make their money, generally speaking. Bruce, can you explain again what happens if a SPAC merger doesn't go through? How much risk is there up to the SPAC investor? Well, if you own, say, let's say you take a look at one of my SPACs here, something like Vector Acquisition, VACQ. Vector is trading at $9.90, and they have a deal to merge. And if they don't merge with their partner, and they don't find any deal they can merge with all the money in their bank, what is it, 300 million plus cash in their bank account, they can't find anyone to merge with, which would be unthinkable to me. I mean, unthinkable. I have $300 million. Nobody wants to be my partner. You got to be kidding me. But if they can't do it, at the end of 2 years from listing, the company then will be called off the market, won't be trading anymore. Shareholders of record on the closeout of the last trading in the day of the stock's lifetime will be notified through their brokers, and they will be paid $10 a share. And everyone will get $10. And that'll be the end of the deal. And if you have any warrants, they expire worthless. You get nothing for those. They go away. So if you bought the stock now at $9.90 and nothing happens, you get $10. But if you paid $10.50 a week ago, a month ago, whatever, if it had been at $10.50, you only get $10. Everybody gets 10 because the money's in trust. The 300 million gets handed out to the investors. That's how it works. I have yet to hear of a SPAC not doing a deal. I have not yet heard of a SPAC not being able to do a deal. Not one. There's 500 out there. Not one. Because these 500 companies are sitting on hundreds of billions of dollars of cash, and they're looking for partners to go public with. And they will find partners to go public with, and they will go public with a partner. And the money will transfer to the treasury of that private company, which will now become the trading name of that company. And they will move on to other areas. The stocks that I'm following on SPACs, they've all announced deals. They've also all announced PIPE financing, secondary financing over and above the money in trust. So these entities are mega funded. Hence why I think these shares are going to go up after their mergers are done. That's why at IPOE, once they're publicly traded, they got 1.9 billion cash, SoFi, 1.9 billion cash from the merger of this deal to start with. Then they can pick up the phone and pick up more money if they want, but at higher prices per share. I just don't think they're going to issue any more stock. They're going to issue bonds. They'll issue treasury notes, like they'll issue notes, senior preferred notes, senior notes, bond issues. They'll raise money at 0.5 point, up 0.75 percentage point, 1%. They will have billions available, billions from pension funds and mutual funds and ETFs, bond ETFs. We'll just be calling these guys going, you want money? You're a bank. You want money? We got money. We can only get 1.6 from the U.S. government. We have too much of that. Germany is offering us negative 2.2%. Japan is offering us 0.09. You want any money? How about a 0.5 point interest for us? We could use that. We need paper. Do you have any bonds you want to sell us? Yeah, SoFi will have their phones ringing off the hook for offers for tens of billions of dollars that will be available to them that they will turn around and offer to you on your phone for whatever you need. You need a car loan? They'll give you a car loan. It might be 5% interest, 4%, 6%. All depends on your credit rating. They'll have lines of credit. They'll give you a second mortgage. They'll offer you, you want to refinance your student debt. You want to refinance, why don't you finance all your debt? You want a credit card? They got credit card. They're a bank. They're going to take these tens of billions of dollars of cash they're going to get for next to nothing. They're going to offer it to you for more than next to nothing. And they're going to make the difference. And they're a lean and mean operation because they're working on the telephone. They don't have branches everywhere. It's all online. It's the cheapest operating bank of banks. You got to think about that. This is a juicy deal here. This SoFi company is going to make a ton of money, just a ton of money. Compared to banks with branches, they're going to kick their butt because they've got 1/10 the number of employees. They don't have to worry about rents, property insurance, business insurance, or business taxes where they're set up at these branches. They're online. They are the Amazon of banking. And that's why maybe Amazon might want to buy them for a lot more money than what you're going to pay for them. If you're smart enough, get in there. Anyway, there you go. All right, thank you. Pal Guitars, hold on. Why stock go down? More sellers than buyers. It's not nothing personal. It's just business. That's all it is. Observe thyself. Tomorrow is my birthday, so I'll do good things. There you go. Rabbit, is excited for your birthday. Happy birthday. Observe yourself. Way to go. Happy birthday from everybody. John Van, way to go, John. Thanks for moving that market for us. We got that stock now. Is it going higher? 144.01. John Van, you're the man. You bought 6.2 shares. They're going up because of you. We love you, buddy. I actually walked into the store, found the honey mustard mayo, loaded up on everything. Bagels, my fave. Boar's head ham, and now we'll prepare today's bagel. Woo-wee. Conduit, way to go. Thanks, Dober. Tomorrow Power birthday fun. Here we go. Thanks, Bruce, says Sharon. You're welcome. Dober Mama says, okay. J. Ray, inspiration comes at random times. What's going on? VGAC. What's going on VGAC? It's on sale. $9.93. Hit a low of $9.91. It's on sale. That's what's going on today. David, Temami. Dave, thank you for becoming a member of this channel. Appreciate it so much. You're joining a group of about 8 others already who've joined today. and we appreciate you coming on in here. You're going to be welcomed by the gang, like everyone gets welcome, and we appreciate you being here. Hope you enjoy the emojis, and let's have some fun. Thank you so much for hanging around. We love it. Thank you, Dave. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just a bad day at the office. Rule number 1, you don't lose if you don't sell. Diamond hands or follow Brucey's. There you have it. Let's see. Get busy squared to the 10th power. Whole lot of whatever around the volume hurting. Back of border. Okay, great. It's all good. I think it means it's all good. It's all going to be good. Happy birthday. Observe thyself. Happy birthday to the queen of the Queen City. There you go. 144.95 on GameStop. Up $1.75 in the aftermarket. It's traded 5,300. It's already up a little bit here. Interesting how that works. Observe thyself. Happy birthday. You can take Sheila home with you tonight. Have a wonderful day. Let's see. Walter, guitarist in the great 70s rock and roll band, the Heartbreakers, had an extraordinary parallel career as a Wall Street stockbroker. There you go. There you go. Just talking emoji right now. William, thanks, King of Myrtle Beach. Happy birthday to Observe Thyself tomorrow. Fabulous stuff. Fabulous. Let's see here. IPOE is now 16.37, up a penny in the aftermarket. GameStop 144.78, up $1.58 right now on the aftermarket. That's what we got going here. Let's see here. Buying bagels tomorrow. Maybe they'll bring IPOP some luck with my diamonds hands and all that. All those beautiful stock sale prices. Yes, indeed. Glitch Fizz, thanks. Observe thyself. Yeah, you're only a loser if you sell it, if you give it up, but no need to do that. There's no news out there that make anyone need to do that. What's the record on new members? The first day, 600. Day number 1, 600 members joined this channel when I offered it because of all the trash talk that was going on in the common areas, so all the trolls that we were getting bombarded with. Everyone jumped in and became a member. So that first week, it was just beautiful, just pounding in. And now we're getting a lot of folks who are rolling over their memberships into another month, and we got newbies coming in. It's beautiful. We're now just slowly, steadily growing the membership following. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous, and I appreciate it so much. Jen loves it, and we welcome you all. You heard that, Drew. Myrtle Rocks, how many members do you have total, sir? We were at the height of this channel right after the first 30 days, like right up until the 30th day before the rollovers began. We got up to about 1,800, and then we backed off to about 1,450 about 2 weeks later, like after the first rollover, the first 2 weeks of the rollover. But then we've been climbing again, and now we're pushing about 1,520 again. So we're inching up again. So am I complaining? No, I'm not complaining. It's a lot of members and a lot of comments, as you can see from the members. Beautiful. So we're doing all right. Thank you, everybody. Uncle Bruce, ever seen a SPAC go below $10 post-merger or after the merger, seen them do belly flop? I haven't seen like a ton of them. There's 1 or 2 that are under 10. And these are like early SPACs that I don't know if they were secondarily financed. They may have only had the SPAC money, but not secondary money, where the SPACs that I'm following all have secondary pipe financing, so that all of these SPACs that I'm covering are going to have anywhere from $500 million to $2 billion in cash in their hands to start business as a publicly traded company. So yeah, I think we're in a different club in that area. How many members does the channel currently have? There we've done that. Uncle Bruce, what's the most profitable trade you ever made? I think it was a trade I made for a client, and we picked up something like, I think I picked up something like 80,000 shares at 50 cents. It's a $40,000 buy. And it turned out, it took a couple of months because the stock about a week later got halted for a pending announcement. They then made an announcement. This is in Alberta. This is going back 20 years ago, 24 years ago, a long time ago. Anyway, announcement was made, and the exchange wanted more information on the announcement, so the company made a secondary release. Then the there was a product the company was making, some kind of product, and it was quite revolutionary and all that. I'm not going to go into details. I don't even remember it. But in any event, when the stock came back to trade, the shares were $8 and they went to 12. So the 40-cent trade went to $12, and that was a 30-time return on the deal. So that was pretty good. And so my investor was quite happy, of course. And so we started piecing off the stock between $8 and $12. We just sort of pieced it out bit by bit because we didn't know where it would go. We'd never had an inkling this would happen, and so we were just taking advantage of the dollars coming in, and we just slowly, sold out, and just raised cash and then diversified into other holdings. That was one of the best ones I remember as a broker in that deal. That was like a 30-timer, like, that kind of thing. I've had larger trades, like $1 million trade that turns into 1.2 million, that kind of thing, but not a 30-timer like that. That was again, these are one-offs. Costco golf balls, they're nice, they're soft. Okay, welcome to the club, OT. That's certainly you're part of an exclusive club. 102,000 subs. That's it. Thinking of buying more ICUP with all this dippage. Conduit, 1.4 thousand watching. Thumbs, peeps, let's go. Thumbs ups for Bruce. How are we doing for thumbs ups anyway? Have we got any today? We're on this show now with 1,400 watching, and we have 538 thumbs up. So I thank you. If you could spare a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. We're at 1637 on IPOE, unchanged on the aftermarket right now. Very quiet at this point. And let's see, Wally's World, very much enjoying my last day of being in my 40s, laugh out loud, says observe thyself. Dober Mamba, that was funny in the 3rd grade. When in doubt, zoom out. It only gets better. Let's see here. Let's go. Yep, dippity doo. It was on sale today. Uncle B, did you ever accidentally buy the wrong stock for yourself or a client by using the wrong ticker name? I don't recall doing that. No. I recall as a desk trader handling 15 brokers trades. They would give me their buy and sell tickets, and I would then enter the orders. I've had scenarios where, we got a broker giving me a ticket to buy 10,000 shares of whatever, and then 2 minutes later coming back to me, oh, I was supposed to be a sell order. Sorry, it's not supposed to be a buyer, it's supposed to be a sell order. So we would have to go back to the floor and try to kill the trade, and we would usually be able to reverse it, and then we would be able to do the proper transaction. Generally speaking, there were a lot of favors made on the floor when there were screw-ups, because everyone screwed up from time to time. Human beings make mistakes. But if we were quick enough, we would usually be able to reverse out error trades and get things figured out. Let's see. What else is going on? Thank you, everybody, for being here right now. We're at 144.50 on GameStop on 9,800 shares. There's nothing going on. IPOE at 1637. Let me refresh the screen, see if this is up to speed. Yeah, 1637 last trade, unchanged from the aftermarket, from the close, with 4,890 shares traded. Very quiet so far on the aftermarket there too. There we are. NTSB report on Tesla fatal accident in Texas raises doubts about autopilot was fully on. The thinking was it was not fully on, which actually, could explain why a car would run into a tree. That could be an issue. What can I say? The Dow retreats from a milestone 35,000 today, ends win streak at 5 straight days. I guess we have to remember that too, don't we? We have to kind of keep in mind that the Dow had 5 straight up days in a row, and it was bound to get a correction sooner or later. Funny how that happens. We kind of get used to winning, and we just like to see stuff going up and never going down. That's sometimes how it works. Okay. Let's go. Here we are. Thank you. Let's go through here. There we go. Here we go. Okay. Bruce, Stock Market Bruce, when would we first know that Citadel got a margin call? I I don't anticipate that happening. Yeah, unanswerable question. Uncle Bruce bought some IPO calls. Thanks for the tip. Would you recommend the same thing for other SPACs? When we get closer, but I mean, yeah, I mean, if you can go long enough and get some really cheap calls, you may want to take a look at that. Yeah, absolutely. On all the SPACs, yeah. Any relation to Sam Walton? Who's asking about what? What about reversed volume recently? Reversed volume. Got nothing there. I accidentally bought a call when I was trying to sell a covered call. I bought a call when I was trying to sell a covered call. Only realized that 20 minutes for expiry actually worked in my favor. It was in the money, sold it for a couple of hundred. You got lucky. AB, there was a guy on Wall Street Bets who actually accidentally put 20,000 into GMED and not GME. He gained like 34% the next week, 30 to 40%. Well, he got lucky. Way to go. Anna, you were a young pup. I hope you enjoy your 50s. It'll be a great decade. The typos are a grab bag sometimes. Observe, Anna B, hoping so. It's definitely a weird birthday. I don't feel 50 right now. 20% gain, says AB. Guilloty got some more in the 140s, but man, I'm tapped out till payday. There you go. That's part of the battle. Observe. Getting older. J. Ray Bruce, sorry, trying to understand here. So the market maker would be obligated to buy the shares back from the shorter, even if the company was going back up and eventually would be worthless. The market maker makes the market on the contract to reflect the value of the contract against the stock. That is the deal with the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So market makers must conduct a market with respect to the value of the stock and the contracts, puts or calls, under all circumstances. That's how it's done. Anna, otherwise they lose their license and they are out of business entirely. That you don't feel 50 is a good sign. Understand the weirdness, though. Tobias, what is that? Enjoy spending. What is that? In tinfoil hat theories. Okay. Vic, facts do not care about your feelings. Seen that bumper sticker this weekend. Love it. Facts don't care about your feelings. Very well done. Hold GameStop because the company pivot is solid. The mother of all short sales is just the sprinkles. Ashley, hi peeps. I just made it, but didn't make much of a market this day. Laugh out loud. Welcome, Ashley, to the show tonight, or this after, I guess. We're here on the aftermarket. D. Gray, sorry, we're bantering. Not all of this is relevant. I hear you. Chris, can't wait for GameStop to drop further so that I can buy another $100,000 worth. J. Ray, thanks, Bruce. So you betcha. Colin, science doesn't care whether you believe in it or not. It doesn't. Science won't take it personally. You either go with it or you don't. And, sometimes you live and sometimes you die. Depends on what your position is, so who cares? Apparently, I need to sell a kidney and get some GameStop, says Ashley. Wally, observe thyself. It could be a 50% day tomorrow. You just never know, but it could be a sign of good things to come. AB, is the mother of all short sales still a possibility, inevitability? How would this impact Cohen, who's trying to make a very long-term company? It won't affect him at all. The stock price does not affect the company. Not necessarily, not up here anyway, not up here. The company is just building itself out. It's growing out. It's their stores. There's no difference in any of the GameStop stores today. If you go into a GameStop store tonight, there's no difference whether the stock went up or down $10 or $20. Makes no difference. They are selling stuff at GameStop. The website, there's no difference there. They're just going to constantly improve it, and they're going to constantly evolve it as they build out their e-commerce strategy. This stock movement has no bearing on the company's activities at this point in time. So nothing to worry about, nothing at all. Hey, Ashley from Drew, D Gray, hi Ashley. Vic, already sold 3 of mine, says Vic C. Anna B, hi, I think we're in good company today, our portfolios. Science, she blinded me with science. I watched both The Life of Brian and Holy Grail. Holy Grail is slightly better, both are awesome. Set him free. Fresh and free, getting my first tire rotation for my Tesla, 7,000 miles. Only maintenance beside washer fluid. You gotta love that. What kind of Tesla have you got, fresh and free? Tell us. D. Gray, I am buying tons of IPOE when it hits my level. Tobias, on conduit and switch. Sorry, but I don't think it's at this price because of fundamentals. It's because whales are preparing for a squeeze. Okay, Robert Penzinger, what happens to call options if SPAC does not complete. Is it at a full loss versus getting 10 if we own it there? Oh, well, if they can't complete their deal, you'll know because probably 90 days before the word will be out that they're in their last 90 days and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to complete their deal. So you should want to be getting out of your position. You'll probably know that nothing's happening because the stock is sitting at $10 and the reports are coming out all over the place that they can't do their deal. You'll just sell your contract for whatever you can get for it and move on. Spire Global of Navsite Holdings, SPAC, had a leadership hire, sales director of maritime. So they're looking to handle shipping data via their satellite endeavors. There you go. That is the company that is taking on, is going to take over Navsite. There you go. They're active. They're active. Great. This is the way, Colin, but I'm not dead yet. Why is it so interesting to listen to Bruce read our pointless, useless comments? I love it. What's wrong with me? What's with this guy? He's making me famous when he reads my comments. No FOMO. Uncle Bruce, you said you don't anticipate Citadel being margin called. Why not? Because there's so much talk about, oh, God. Citadel, I hope you're asking me a question because you don't know any better. If you know better, you're an idiot. If you don't know better, I forgive you. But Citadel it's like asking me, will the New York Stock Exchange get a margin call? This is $1 trillion entity that will not get a margin call. All right. So forget about this topic and move on and stop bothering me on it. If you know better, if you don't know better, I forgive you. But don't ask me stupid questions like, or just don't ask me about these questions. It is a nothing topic, and it's wasting all of our time. I'm getting frustrated with that question. Wally's wrote that song's going to be like my likes list. She likes me. She whatever. AB, all of these SPACs you recommended are a done deal, right? Even if they merge at sub 10, it's still on. Yes, done deal. These are going to merge. The PIPE financing went through all kinds of due diligence, so that institutional investors have put the money into trust accounts to close these deals. These deals are funded, ready to go. And these SPACs will be heavily funded with a lot of money. Get ready. It's going to be very entertaining. We're going to be extremely busy here following a lot of news for 6-7 different companies that won't be SPACs anymore. SoFi will be releasing press releases every week for years. This is going to become a big company with a lot of divisions, a lot of news, a lot of analytical reports, a lot of talk on television, a lot of YouTubers covering it. You are going to see a ton of info on SoFi, okay? And it will not be trading at 16-something dollars a share, nowhere near here. The other 6, they will all be busy, all funded, all active, all making press releases, deals, mergers, acquisitions, new announcements, everything. It'll be wild. It'll be wacky. We are going to be really busy here. So these are the dog days where I have to answer stupid Citadel questions. Woke up, I saw GameStop bleeding so much. Is the flame dying down? No. He has a wife, her name is in whatever it is. D Gray, I often miss up, but oh well. What else is going on? Okay, I got a Model 3. Here's what I want to talk about. I have a Model 3. I had to go from New York, from Connecticut. They can't legally sell. About a year old. I had anxiety on the highway before. Now it's gone, and it's priceless. This car is priceless. That's beautiful. Model 3, tire rotation. That's all the maintenance they've done, except for washer fluid. That's a Tesla. That's what a Tesla is all about. That's pretty cool. I remember when I first got my BMW 520i back in '79, way back when. Brand new car, and the first maintenance check was free. And that was after 6 months or something like that. And they just changed the oil and they checked filters. And then the second check at the 1 year point, I had to go in for a 1 year thing. It's like $500 because BMW service is a fortune. Then I took it back after 2 years. I think I had to bring it, or a year and a half. I had to bring it again. They wanted $500. And then the 2 year, the thing came up and I thought, I'm not taking it back there. I'm going to a mechanic and I'm just going to show them the book. Say, here's what's supposed to be done to the car what can you, how much will this cost me? And the guy's going, oh, I got to change the oil. I got to check your tire pressure. I got to check your fluids. I got to check your radiator fluid. He's going, oh, $69.99. I said, deal. Take care of my BMW. And so every 6 months I would just take it to this mechanic and it would be $60 to $100. And I drove it so little that there was nothing to spend money on. There was nothing wrong with it. I had such tiny little issues with that car. It was a great little car. 6-cylinder engine, 170 horsepower in a 170 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine. 4-speed on the floor. Fast, light, great car. Loved it. Handled like a dream. Compared to any other 1979 car, this thing blew the doors off of anything. I had a Camaro before this car. This car's faster than my Camaro. Way better. And handling, oh, not even close. The Camaro couldn't take a corner. It could, but against an LTD, it could take a corner, but not against a BMW could it take a corner. I gone to it. Bruce, need to put a Tesla Super sticker up right now. We moon, you moon. Talk emoji and try to trick Uncle Bruce is fun for us kids. Let's see. Bruce is flummoxed. I am by professional social worker, not a stockbroker, and any question you ask me is okay with me. It's when I get questions from smart Alex that know better, that try to just get my goat, then I get upset. But it's good. You're all good with me. It's all right. Scarlos, I sort of stopped having faith in all the short squeeze, margin call, faith in SEC hope. We just need to buy and hold great stock. Yeah, buy GameStop because of the corporate news, because of the corporation. Don't worry about short squeezes, gamma squeezes, anything like that. You'll be fine. My gosh. That's a stockbroker. This is the most interesting time in the stock market you've witnessed. Is it the most interesting? If not, when was the most interesting time? Oh, my God. Well, you remember certain days of your life in the markets, but you forget most of them because they just blur out. When you're a broker year after year, day after day, you don't remember every single day anymore. And you only remember certain events from time to time and certain, situations, right? I mean, I remember the day that we were in our shop. I was branch manager, and what was it now? Was I branch manager or not? Wait a minute. This was 19. I was not branch manager at that time. I was a broker. I was a desk trader. Yeah, I was a desk trader at the time. Stockbroker, desk trader. And there were about 20 of us in the office, about 14 stockbrokers, 5 or 6 support staff. And it was around, our time was around 11 in the morning, or our time, around 11 in the morning, just after lunch. Just after lunch Eastern time. Yeah. And it was just a regular day, nothing much going on. I can't remember what day of the week it was. I don't remember what day of the week it was. But we have in front of the trading desk. I was behind like a cordoned off. I was on a desk that in front of me had like a big shelving thing, and then there was a flat surface on there. And in my chair, I could see over it. It would be kind of like to here. My desk was down here. I could see over it. And then I could see the office and all the brokers in like a semicircle. I could see all the brokers, and they all had offices all around the perimeter. And just ahead of me, against the wall, was a telephone line that plugged into a Dow Jones newswire machine, like a newswire. And this thing would just go across. It was always spitting out information, and it was like a running commentary of what's going on in the market. And a broker would come out of his office every once in a while, stretch his legs a little bit, get a coffee, go to the bathroom, whatever, and head over to the ticker and just kind of look at the ticker to see if there's any announcement that's been made that's of any consequence. And it would show off like the 10 most active stocks, or the biggest performers, the worst performers, takeover news, anything like that. And it would all be business information with occasional news headlines. And then at the top of each hour, they would come off about 20 headlines, the most big news of the day from around the world, just stuff like that. And this machine just kept spitting this out, and a broker would come up to it, and the tape would be 20 feet long, and it would be these rolls of brown paper. The rolls would be like this, and it would be 1,000 feet per roll, And we would change the roll maybe once a day, or sometimes twice a day. And a broker would come up there, and you'd take 10-foot sections, grab a pair of scissors that were hanging on a rope, little string, and you'd cut 10-foot sections off, and then just put the sections on a clipboard on the wall. So at the end of the day, there would be 2 clipboards full of all of the news of the day in 10-foot long sections. And sometimes an announcement would come out about a stock your customer is following or whatever, and you would cut that piece of news out, take the tape back together, put it on the clipboard, go to the photocopy machine, copy this thing, come back to the tape, and then just tape this thing back onto the latest piece of paper so that people will see this announcement. And then you'd have a photocopy of this announcement. This is old school. This is 1980, 81. We didn't have these. We didn't have email. We didn't have computers with bulletins on our computers yet. Just quotes. So this is how we got our news. And the one day, just after lunch, the bell goes off. Like the machine had a bell, like a little ting. You remember the bell at a hotel? You hit the top and go ting, get someone's attention. This would have a bell in it. And if there was one bell, that would usually mean a Dow 30 stock is releasing a news announcement. If it was a ding ding, it would be maybe an announcement from the New York Stock Exchange or the SEC, something like that. If it was a 3, ding, 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 then that would be a serious news announcement of a catastrophe, maybe a building, an earthquake in Mexico or something like that, to give you an idea. If it was 4, that would be really serious stuff. And that could be, many deaths in an earthquake or whatever. But this machine went 5 times. Ding, 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 ding. And it would just spit out. And 5 brokers got up at the same time and came walking to the machine. What the hell's going on? And then 30 seconds later, bing, 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 bing. And the guys are standing around it. And one of the brokers would be the designated reader of the announcement to read to the office. And this particular day, shots fired at President Reagan as he exits the Washington, the hotel in Washington. First headline. That was a bulletin. 5 bells. And the broker yells it out to the office. Everyone in the office knew instantly that 5 shots fired at the president. And then a minute later, ding, 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 multiple casualties as president driven away. And then ding, 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 and every 30 seconds, every minute, every 2 minutes, this thing was just going. And we were yelling out the news, and our phones started to ring. The phones lit up. Just ring, everybody's phone. Now the brokers are running to their offices, talking to their customers, sharing with them what they're hearing and what they're hearing. The radio's going, the televisions are going, CNN is going, NBC, ABC, CBS, all television blocked up. We didn't have a television in our offices. We just had the Dow Jones wire. And then, of course, we're talking to our floor traders, and they're hearing it. We're talking to them. We're talking to Toronto. New York is talking. And the financial community knew within 5 minutes what was going on. And then it spread out from us, and of course, spread out everywhere else. Within an hour, everyone in the world knew what was going on. Unless you were taking a hike somewhere in the mountains, you didn't know. That I remember. That was a day I remember big time. That was a scary thing, and that was you're now thinking of the man. You're not thinking of the politics. You're not thinking of Republicans or Democrats, you're just thinking of the man. And you're wondering just, wow, what's going on? What happened here? And we needed, our curiosity was we wanted to see what happened. Like, was there a footage of it? So we heard from clients calling up saying, yeah, it's on TV. There's footage. It was about 30 minutes after it happened. It got the tape inside these cameras that these network news organizations had started getting played. And we got to hear the shots, and we got to see the president being pushed into his limo, all this stuff. And then we started seeing still images from AP Newswire photographers who were on the other side of the limo, photographing the president as he was coming out, and he was waving, and he did that wave, and then he had that grimace look on his face, like the disturbed look, like, what's that? And behind him, you see the Secret Service agent pushing him, just starting to push him into the car. because he doesn't, President's what's happening, and he a split second later he's head first inside the limo. So we're getting these images coming out and all of this. So the markets got halted almost immediately. We're done for the day. All stock markets closed. We're finished. And so any clients that called in, we were just telling them we're closed for the day. We're all going home. We're going to watch the news, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. And within 45 minutes to an hour of that event happening, we were shut down. I was closing out my daily trading trades, balancing out my books. My floor trader came in with all its buy and sell tickets, and we matched it all up, and we finished it off for the day. And then we shut the office down. And within, I would say, 2 hours of the event, our office was closed as far as brokers were concerned, and only the cage was open to finish the cage activity for the day. And what we would have likely have done is all of the share certificates we had in the back of the firm, because remember, in those days, share certificates were cleared in physical form, actual share certificate. All the certs we had would have been just stuffed into our vault, into our office. Or a couple of our employees would have waited until 4 o'clock local time for Brinks security, the Brinks guys, to come up and pick up our pouch. And they would take our pouch to the bank overnight and then bring the pouch back first thing in the morning. So we would continue on. And so at 4:30 in the afternoon, the office was closed out. We were done. It was already 6:30 Eastern time, well after the fact. And we had already heard at that point that he was hit with the one bullet and he was in surgery. And we're all wondering, oh my God, is he going to be all right? And, the whole world was just holding its breath. Like, what the heck? The U.S. Armed Forces went on red alert across the world. It was mayhem. And, for hours, I was talking to clients of my own and then even after hours. And then the next morning, I remember coming in, and we had heard now that the doctors had a press conference, and they were saying that we got it. We found the bullet. We found the damage. We repaired it, and he's resting comfortably, and he's going to make a recovery. He's pretty well out of the worst of it, and we're gonna stay on it. We only found out a few days later how bad it was for him, how he had fainted in the lobby of the hotel of the hospital. We heard all the details days later, but by that point he was already back in charge. He was in the hospital for a week or 10 days. The 4th or 5th day he waved from the hospital room. The world media went nuts, and then he returned back to the White House, and that was very emotional for everybody, and everyone was happy. And then I remember, I think it was, this would have been like a month or two later, he came to the Congress to do his State of the Union speech, his first. And this is only 6 weeks after the shooting. And I remember it was carried on live television, obviously, but it was you could only watch it on ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN. Those networks existed at that point. And I remember he, came through the crowd, and they were just, everyone to shake his hand and everything. And you could see how thin he was. He had lost weight. But he had makeup put on. The Hollywood actor that he was ready for television. So they had him made up to look really rosy. And the president comes to the podium, and then the Speaker of the House introduces the president to the members of Congress, and they're all guests. And then he got the standing ovation that lasted 12 minutes. Very emotional. And then he he pointed out in the audience the Secret Service agent. He's pointed out some Secret Service agents that saved him, and some of the police, and members that were there. There were still people in hospital, and James Brady was badly injured, and it was devastating, and all that sort of stuff. So I remember that day as a broker, you don't forget. And the other one I remember was when the Challenger blew up in '82, something like that. And Reagan was president at the time. And the only network that covered the actual launch live was CNN, because Challenger launches had become routine now, the space shuttle launches. And it just didn't garner the ratings anymore. And so the big three networks, they showed their whatever they were showing off, but CNN covered it live because they were a news network and they had cameras there. And the shuttle disintegrated, go for throttle up, and it just disintegrated. And again, at that time, it could have been 84, and I was branch manager at that time. Now I was branch manager of this firm. And we heard the bells going off, 5 bells, and immediately, again, right to the machine. What's going on? Now, I had a computer terminal at that point. This is now 4 years later. I now had a computer terminal in my office that would give me headlines, like the headlines coming off of that machine over there. But for me to that machine kept spinning out all kinds of other information that we would want. And so we kept that Dow Jones ticker for at least another 4 or 5 years after that yet. But by the mid-90s, I think the Dow Jones, the ticker machine was toast, and now it was replaced by a full-blown terminal that could give us everything, including now video, of course. But in any event, back then we didn't get video. So the shuttle happened, and we heard the headlines, and we were reading the headline. We're just going, oh my God, this is terrible. They had the school teacher on board on board the shuttle. There was Krista McAuliffe was the teacher's name, I believe. There was a school teacher who was one of the 7 astronauts, and she was going to teach from space. And every school child in the United States was in an assembly watching live television across the United States, the launch, and they all saw the explosion of their teacher. Like, nothing is filtered in America, man. It is live. It is the real deal. And I remember that whole sick feeling. We all just felt sick to our stomachs. It was just so heartbreaking. And it was the saddest of things. And the whole day, the market. I don't think the market closed early that day, but it did happen in the mid part of the afternoon, and the rest of the day was a nothing burger. And I remember that night watching the reruns, on all the networks, watching this happen, and oh my God, no way would they have survived. Just the explosion itself would have knocked them out unconscious. It was just, it was terrible. But I remember Reagan addressing the nation. A master speech maker, master storyteller, but he had masterful speech writers. And he made a speech to the nation about what happened and how America doesn't hide behind a veil of secrecy on space launches. We don't launch people into space in secret and then show the launch after it's successful. We show it live. We're America. We're proud. We're leaders of the world. We don't hold back from the American people, and sometimes it isn't pretty. And space is a final frontier that is a dangerous place, and these people were prepared to risk it all for the American advancement into space. And it was so powerful. It was incredible. And then, what was it, about 3, 4, 5 days later, the funerals, they had the big memorial ceremony, and of course all the families were there. And here comes the president, and he's giving everybody a hug. The father figure, right? So emotional. He was so popular that way. So popular and powerful. And yet the lefties were driven nuts by this guy. I mean, the Democrats were the folks who wanted, climate change, pollution in the air. They wanted him to say the word AIDS. He wouldn't use the word AIDS. He never said it. It took him until the second last year as president until he mentioned it. They were so upset with him to ignore all these dying Americans that he would not, because they were of the other persuasion, and he wasn't going there. And so there were people who loved him and people who hated him, but many respected him. And so I remember those years. And those 2 days in the market. I do remember that, and the emotion that we all felt for, the whole week after the shuttle thing. It was just a terrible week, just a downer of a week. Across the board. I mean, we all felt it. And I'm in Canada. I'm in Canada. We're feeling it up here. Americans were really down about it, and it was really sad. And then, of course, the investigation took place into what happened with the shuttle. and that took what, a year and a half, no flights. It had to be completely redone from top to bottom, and then the next shuttle to be launched. Oh, every network covered that one. Every network was live watching it, and we were all holding our breath for the next one, hoping that it would work out, and it did. And the launches were successful after that. But oh my gosh, yeah, the investigations, the 60-minute reports that came out, the gotcha journalism reports, and all the crazies were, the conspiracy theorists were all over. We saw it all, of course. But it was really an interesting time, and it was an amazing time to be, to be part of it. It's part of our lives. There's tragedies, of course. 9/11. I mean, many of you survived or experienced it. A bunch of you who watched me were children when 9/11 happened, or you were less than 10 years old or less than 12, and you really didn't understand the global ramification of the whole big picture. We just, you were witnessing the horror of it, but not the rest of it. Where, I was in Vancouver, British Columbia at the time. I was supposed to fly that day. I was supposed to fly from Vancouver to Palm Desert. From Vancouver, I think I was supposed to go to Oakland, and then transfer from Oakland to Palm Desert, something like that. I can't remember exactly. And the event took place at 9 in the morning. The first plane hitting, I think it was 9 New York time, if I recall. That would have been 6 in the morning our time, something like that. I was asleep in bed at the time because it was so early still. I had to go to the airport. I was going to leave the house, my business partner's house in Vancouver. I was going to leave his house at around maybe 10 in the morning, maybe, to get to the airport for a 12 o'clock flight or something like that. I can't remember. It was 9, leave at 9, leave at 12, whatever it was. The phone rings in the house at like 6:30 in the morning, and it's Jennifer. Jennifer is calling my business partner's house because she knows I'm there, and she wants to talk to me. And the phone rang, and I didn't have a phone in my room. It was in my it was in my partner's house, and it was his phone beside his bed. So he picked it up. I could hear him going hello, and he's going, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah, what?" He said, "Can you say that again?" And she's telling him what happened, and he says, "Well, hang on, I'll get you Bruce." So he comes into my room and he says, "The phone is for you, but I don't understand what she's saying. I can't figure it out." And so I pick up the phone and go, "What's up?" And she says, "Turn on the television. Like, turn on your television right now and watch what's going on in your TV. There's been a terrorist incident in New York. The World Trade Center has been flown into, both of them. And by this point, both of them had been flown into. And I think one of them had already fallen. And we were behind it. Anyway, my business partner, this is in the summertime. This is just September. And he had turned off his cable and his satellite for July, August, and September because he was spending his entire summer. And after I was flying out, he was leaving town. He was out of town at his cabin in Whistler. He had a condo in Whistler, and they were staying there, and he didn't want to pay for cable and satellite in the house in Vancouver. So he didn't have any. We had no way of getting the television to work because we had no cable. And so I told him what Jennifer told me, and I said, "Can you get your TV turned on somehow, even basic cable, so we can just turn on the Canadian network like CBC?" So he phones the satellite company, and they said, "What's your address?" He told them the address. They said, "We're turning it on for you right now, no questions asked." He said, "I just need it on for a couple of days because I won't be here in a couple of days." They turned on the full package for him, no charge, because of the emergency of what was happening. And so now we're sitting in his living room, trying to have a coffee to wake up. What the hell is going on? We're washing our face and everything, and we're watching the coverage of this entire event, 9/11, happen. And we're just looking at each other going, can you believe it? This looks like a movie. It's unbelievable. And every channel, same thing, you know, use remote control. Every channel's got this. It's real. It's happening. Well, my flight got canceled. I didn't get to fly out that day. And I was really bummed about it because I had been up north now for 12 days, and I was looking forward to getting home back to Palm Desert with Jen and Jen Jr. And couldn't get out of town. The border was shut down. The land border was cut off. America is closed. And I'm stuck in Canada now, and I don't know for how long. And this was Tuesday? Was this a Tuesday morning? I think it was. Yeah. And I found out on Thursday there would be flights on Friday. The air traffic would open again on Friday. And so I called, I think it was, I was flying on Alaska Airlines. It was Alaska. I was flying Alaska Airlines, and I called them up, and they, boy, I want to say it was Southwest, but it wasn't. It was Alaska. I think it was pretty. Anyway, I was supposed to fly into Ontario International Airport, and I had that. You know, oh, that's right. I was supposed to fly from Alaska out of Canada to maybe Oakland, and then or San Francisco, Oakland to Palm Desert. And it was they were telling me we're not going to be able to get you out for another week, so I would have to wait till the next week Friday, another week. And I thought, screw this. I got on the phone and I called Southwest Airlines, the 800 number, and I talked to Southwest. I said, I want a flight out of Seattle to, can you get me to Ontario International? Because I knew they flew to Ontario. And sure enough, they said, we can get you from Seattle to Oakland and Oakland to Palm Desert today. I said, I booked it, done, great. I had until 4 in the afternoon to get to Seattle. 4 in the afternoon, Seattle time, and I'm in Vancouver, so that was the same time zone. So I called Greyhound bus service downtown Vancouver. Said, "Do you have a bus driving across the border?" Said, "Yep, we have one every 45 minutes going to Seattle today. No problem." I said, "Great, okay." So I grabbed a cab, I packed up the stuff, and I drove down to the bus depot, grabbed a ticket to Seattle. And I was worried about how long it will take us to cross the border by land because they had reopened the border, but we were hearing about 5 to 6 hours to cross the border each direction. 5 to 6 hours. Looking for terrorists, right? So we're in the bus. And luckily, 5 miles away, there's a bus, kind of a bus route you take. And the Greyhound could pass all the traffic, all the trucks and cars, waiting and waiting and waiting. And as we got closer, we saw 12 lanes of traffic, of 12 lanes of cars trying to cross into America. And the lineup was 3 miles back, 5 miles back, whatever it was. It was insanity. It was insanity. We went to another, right beside that border area was a border just for the buses. And there was nobody there. And we came up, and the bus driver told us wait, and the bus driver talked to the border people. They told him what to do. He came on the bus, said, "Okay, everybody, here's the deal. All of you are going to get off the bus. You're going to come outside of the bus. We're going to bring out all the bags out. Get your baggage. You're going to walk into this building here, and you're going to go through security. And then you're going to come out the other side, and you'll wait over there. The bus will then be inspected. It'll be moved up 25 feet. And then you can bring your bags back to me. I'll load your bags up for you. You get back on the bus. We're good to go. You're just going to clear U.S. Customs." So great. I had a set of golf clubs, a guitar, and a suitcase. And grabbed my stuff, got in line, and we went through 45 minutes. All of us, 45 minutes were cleared. It just took us 45 minutes to clear 45 people, whatever it was. And we all got in there, our bags on the bus, and we got on the bus and we drove on. And I got to Seattle at about 1:30 in the afternoon. And by 2-something o'clock, I had a cab ride to the airport. And a mile from SeaTac were Marines, like National Guard guys with semi-automatics, with M14s. And they wanted to know, what flight are you taking? Where are you going? And the driver said, "Got a passengers, you going on?" And I said, "Yeah, going on Southwest Airlines to Palm Desert." Showed him my passport. He said, "Yeah, okay, you're good to go." And he opened the trunk, looked at the stuff, closed the trunk. "Okay, you're out of here," because they were getting bored already. There was nothing to do for these guys. Got to the airport, and got to the Southwest line. There were like 50 people in front of me, but they had like 10 agents. It was just fast. Got to the agent, told her what I had, and she said, "Oh, yeah, you got a flight leaving in an hour and a half. How would you like to get on a flight leaving in 30 minutes?" I said, "Oh, yeah." She says, "I'll book you on an earlier flight. You'll be in Ontario instead of at 1 in the morning. You'll be in Ontario at 11 o'clock tonight." Fabulous. So got out of there and ran to my gate, got the flight, and then made it to Ontario. And it's all blurry now, but I remember calling Jennifer on the phone. "I'm in the U.S. I'm in Seattle right now. I'm going to be in Ontario tonight. Come and get me." And so she arrived at, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock. I think I was there. And it was a wonderful sight for sore eyes. Let me tell you, having Jen and Jen Jr. pick me up at the airport. So we were together again, and we drove now to the desert, and the world had changed. The world had completely changed. It was really something. 9/11. Oh my gosh! And from then on, it was so different after that. Yeah, it was an amazing time. Those 3 events were unbelievable, just amazing, really crazy. Thank you to Mark Demoto. Mark, thank you for joining us as a member. Story time with Bruce this afternoon. We'll watch the markets again tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate it. Thank you also to, here we are, to Colmodosh. IPOE, I bought January 2022 call contracts with a $50 strike. What are your thoughts? You are crazy. I hope you only got them for like a dime or something. Oh my gosh, that's a little out there. Anyway, thank you, all of you, for this. I was on my way to work when the first plane hit. Says Jay Ray, I thought it was an accident. Then the second one hit. That's the moment I realized we were being attacked. Sharon, I had to go to work on 9/11 after dropping my 3rd grader off at school. His question to me was, "Is a plane going to crash into my school today?" One of the hardest days of work ever. Yeah, no kidding. When your kid has to ask you that kind of a question, that is tough. That's when you earn your mummy points. Just the essentials. After the first plane hit, they were announcing that they believed it was a Cessna side plane. I heard that, although one of the first reports I remember were people saying it was a jet. On 9/11, I was at a group home that a judge placed me in for getting in trouble again. I was in line to get breakfast. I seen the plane hit the tower on TV, told the staff, and everyone's day stopped dead. Yeah. Actually, we were listening on a radio in a parking lot because all the networks were locked up after the second tower collapse. I remember a Black Hawk helicopter over my head. I looked my crew, everybody leave. SB, there are flags on every stoop for months. There were flags on every stoop. Isn't it safe to take something like that to bring the people together in solidarity? Isn't it something? It is unbelievable. Yeah, it's something. Michael, I was a senior in high school in 9/11. We watched the events the entire day. It was a very sad day. I still know exactly where I was and what I did on the day when the first plane hit and later the second. Stupid spell check, not safe, sad. It was a sad day. Yeah, I used to be a group home counselor. Well said, everyone's day stopped. Even here in the Netherlands, our day stopped too. My mom called and woke me up and made me turn on the tube. I also remember them saying that on the air pool number 7 building, meaning take it down. Welcome, Mark, by way to the channel. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. Hard to believe that when we've been in a multi-generational war, fathers in the military seeing their sons being deployed to the same mess they were in. John, I believe some rich old white dude had just taken out a 99-year lease on the World Trade Center. He got paid out handsomely. They had to fight in court. They lost so many millions. They did not make money on it. They tried to recoup their investment and get out from underneath their bank loans, but it was a sad, sad deal. You wouldn't know we're still at war if you watched the cable news today. There you have it. Marcus, even here in Germany, everything stopped. Shortly after the second plane hit, everything stopped. It was crazy. Army in D.C., I'm rooting for you to hit the $50 strike. That would mean great things for the rest of us. That's right. I hope your contracts are in the money. I was taking my standardized high school graduation exam. They didn't tell us until after the test was over in the afternoon. I was in social studies in 7th grade. Our vice principal didn't let us watch the feed. My sister in high school watched it over and over all day at school. Michael, John Van, I've had a hard time with the inside job stuff that booms people heard for planes aluminum being well beyond its melting point, mixing with water from the sprinklers. Oh my gosh. Any good comedies other than Life of Brian? We weren't watching any comedies back then, I'll tell you that. That was a rough time. That was such a tough time. The rubble the pile. They called it the pile. Every day, hours every day, dealing with the rubble. And after 4 or 5 days, no survivors, and it was just now recovery. It was just depressing. And you remember everything would stop at the pile, and it would be dead silence, and there would be 6 firefighters or New York guys, New York cops, recovery guys, bringing up a stretcher with remains with the U.S. flag over it. Heartbreaking, just heartbreaking. And it was for weeks. It was weeks. This did not stop. It would not go away. We couldn't get away from it. And it was just gut-wrenching, every one of them. And all the people standing in New York with pictures of loved ones going, have you seen my husband? Have you seen my wife? My brother, my cousin, And then we heard the stories of the firefighters who were at home, heard the news, got in their cars, drove down to their, to get downtown. Others took the subway in. They got to their precinct, and they went in, like they went down there, and they never came home. Like these guys were off-duty guys who went down there. They were going up. And the cops and the firefighters and all these other, all the paramedics and all the missing, hundreds and hundreds. And it was just devastating. I mean, it was just, oh my gosh, it was unbelievable. And then you saw the videos coming out weeks after that, And then remember the cat, was it the Kills Field, whatever it was, where all the debris was taken. All the debris from the pile was taken to this one place, and then it was filtered through there. And what they found through there, oh my God. Unbelievable. For like another year, it took over a year and a half for that to be dealt with. It was just devastating. Yeah, really sad. We had to live it again and again and again and again and again. So 2001, 2002, 2003, it didn't stop. It just didn't stop. Yeah, really sad. Anyway, yeah, we'll never forget those days. Those of us who are old enough won't forget. You kids, you're the lucky ones. You youngsters, you didn't have to deal through it. It's now been 21 years, 20 years ago. There are 25-year-olds who have no idea. They were not around. They were 2, 3 years old, right? It's all cool. But oh my gosh, it was really something. 9/11, the day after my baby, there was a trip to get woken up, watch the second one hit. Anyway, I get in a pit in my stomach. I'll catch you later. It's unbelievable. Anyway, though, folks, my day is done. Sorry to end it on a downer, but we survived it. Here we are. Just remember, Canadians love Americans. Americans love Canadians. And we're there. We're with you guys. And we don't forget either. We don't forget. Anyway, thank you, guys. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I worked in the newspaper. It was fairly loud and stressful environment. On 9/11 was so quiet in the press room. Very eerie. I'll never forget. Please stop making me cry. Everyone was the same color that day. No races, just gray. Horrified people helping each other. Yeah, we couldn't turn the TV off. And then we couldn't sleep very well. Thumbs up for Uncle Bruce and Auntie Jen. I was in Norfolk on the Theodore Roosevelt. Oh, man, that must have been something. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being with me today, following this channel. Let's see what happens tomorrow with the markets. If you dare, I'm on twice more today. I'm on at 7 o'clock Eastern on my other channel for the Hangout Show with sponsor members, Traveling with Bruce. 8 o'clock on Traveling with Bruce. It's a wide open show. Hang out with me. We're going to talk about travel. We're going to talk about cruise ships, and we'll see what's going on over there. And you're welcome to join us and enjoy the gang from TWB if you like. In the meantime, everybody, thank you so much for being here. We love you too. Thank you, all of you, for hanging out. And let's see what GameStop will do tomorrow. And same with IPOE. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great evening. Thank you all. Love you. And you take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Be well. And we'll be here tomorrow, first thing in the morning before the market opens, 1 hour before. And let's see what's going on. For those of you too young to remember, I hope you don't have to ever go through this. I agree. Thanks, Bruce. Thank you, everybody. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Catch you tonight on TWB and tomorrow morning right here for the next show. Should be fun. Thank you, guys. All right. Bye for now.